Alright, welcome back everybody as we slowly make our way towards the inevitable changing point of this game, the no turning back portion per se of this game. We've got another battle here still to go. Actually two. But you can see I've in that one battle that we just did last episode, Orc went from level 1 to the cap, which is 11. I may just take him out and replace him with either a mage or a different physical user like my berserker. We'll see. We're gonna use this party, that's correct. The Zetomores.
Broken through our line, have they? Always knew.
I believe this character's in other games as well.
Just as well. Past time me pets had their first taste of battle. Birder.
Particularly, I think he's recruitable in the March of the Black Queen.
And what are the rest of you waiting for? Get out here!
It might just be his archetype actually as a Beastmaster.
Show him how it's done.
So this is definitely one of those missions where we're all at the level cap, can't really do much. You still have some guest characters like Kashua that may or may not be at the cap, the level cap right now. This mission is not easy because it's a swamp, marshy type thing, and most of your characters cannot stand in open water. Your Valkyrie slash Rune Fencer is an exception to that rule. But that means that they're sort of limited in terms of their movement because they get however many spaces to move. But if that space that they're going to end up in happens to be water, they're going to have to stop short of it. So you have to plan your moves around that a little bit. You can see there's more water in the bottom, I guess, for doing cardinal directions. There's more water spaces to the east than there are to the west. Got more solid ground, if you will, which is advantageous and also not advantageous because you could use the water to help keep certain characters from advancing, but they'll just, you know, go around, if you will. And again, not all characters are affected by the whole water, you can't walk into water thing. Bonus objective completed. Most of the bonus objectives are not hard to do. However, the harder it is to do the stupid challenge, the more likely you're going to get better loot out of it. So, you know, if we're talking specifically this mission at this point in the game, they might be like, oh, hey, I need you to be using, you know, a mid-game level spell right now. If you happen to have it for some unknown reason, and you use it and you get this perk, we're going to give you this really strong magic or sword or, you know, extra experience that you can use later on down the road, you know? So. But even so, most of the stuff that's even not all that difficult is a bonus of like 200 experience, which is really great at this point in the game. Probably even later as well. We'll see. Skill triggered. Counter block. So depending on how you equip Vice in these early missions as a guest character and casual, they may give you more or less trouble staying alive. Great example of this, I mean both of them obviously, but Vice, when you played this game the first time back on the PSP, I had trouble keeping Vice alive in any of these battles because he would be primarily a punch character. He comes with the gauntlets or fists or whatever you want to call them. And so he's constantly in the front line, and he's constantly over-exerting, you know, pushing past a place that I feel comfortable with him on the front lines. And so he would get surrounded and overwhelmed by, you know, the fact that he's pushed past where my front line should be. But you take that same character and you give, now mind you, I know you can't do this with the punch weapons because it becomes a two-handed weapon. But if you switch him off to what I have him right now, which is daggers and bows, one-handed bow and daggers, it allows him to become a range unit, which better fits his statistics. You know, he's not terribly squishy, but he's squishy enough that he shouldn't be in the front line. Conversely, I suppose if he changed his class to something like maybe like a knight, he would probably have higher defensive statistics and he'd probably be a better frontliner. But again, you're changing what he starts out as to help him based on the way the AI controls that character. So we'll have a lot to talk about when we get to the very important next level, but I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time to really talk about it, though I guess I could talk about it during the actual battle itself, so we'll see. There's a lot of implications is what I'm trying to get at. I probably mentioned in an earlier episode, these types of games, tactic games particularly, this happens with Fire Emblem as well, is when you got a lot of units on the field, it can be very overwhelming because you're trying to keep everybody alive. This isn't like a Advance Wars situation where, okay, it's not great that your tank exploded there, but, you know, there is, you know, you can take some positives even though that enemy, or I'm sorry, that ally died there. You know, if it's part of the greater good, if you will. You know, you're not designed necessarily to keep this medium tank alive versus you want to keep Vice alive, you want to keep Canifis alive, you want to keep, you know, any of your other main characters alive, obviously. It's very easy for the game to gang up on a particular character. So obviously one of the tactics things is don't put your characters in a position they can't really handle. So lead with your characters that have high defense. Or in the case of, you know, some of the later, harder levels, there's a lot of magic users that lead with, you know, have your magic users where the other magic users are, because they'll have the resistance to help tank that damage, you know, or have more healers, you know, run a healer or two, so you're not worrying about characters dying. But as you get further and further into the battle, particularly this game, where you don't really see, at least at this point in the game, you're not really seeing reinforcements coming into the battle a lot. You know, like, so what does your strategy become? Do you try to whittle down the other enemies that are on the board? Do you go directly after the boss, you know, if he's in your range? Because if you defeat the boss, then the battle ends regardless of how many units are on the field. With, of course, the offsetting advantage of killing lots of small enemies, is they drop little bags of loot, which you can then pick up on subsequent turns to help you on the economy side of things. So, plus, they may randomly, particularly in a story mission like this one, they may randomly drop green cards, which are permanent stat upgrades. Bam! I'm getting greedy, I know. 200 damage, a lot of damage. A lot of damage. But I kind of wish that was more damage. And I get it, you know. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Also, I think Kashua's dead. Sorry, bye-bye Kashua, go away again, because I can't trust you to do anything right, and I can't fucking level you up in non-story missions because you're a guest character. Also, I gotta stop misclicking here. You probably noticed I've used my the rewind system a couple times here, mainly because I keep clicking on the wrong characters. Y-hander. That's okay. That's okay. Well, actually, that was positive. Never mind. That's okay if they, I'm gonna have to switch up Voltaire's stuff. That light around him is generally there to keep out undead units. So, yeah. Blocked. A lot of dead characters going on here. That's okay as long as they don't actually die, i.e. their timer runs down to 0, we'll be okay. Motherfucker. This is what I mean by misclicking. You know? I could still finish this off here in a second. I don't technically need to rewind if I don't want to. Okay, now I do. I don't have enough for Mighty Impact here. I was pretty sure I could just finish him off with Denim, but you can see I'm gonna be a whole probably 2 turns. So we'll rewind is here. Because I misclicked instead of clicking. I thought I was on that Acid Rain again, but I wasn't. So let's fix that this time. Or I could move. That also works. Means I gotta move up right here.
Am I?
Yeah, see, you only have to get down to a certain percentage before he retreats.
You children play a mind rap. Better. Obda. Oh no. As for you, Wolf.
I laid off his griffins there because I'm not sure if I can recruit him later. And I think it may be based on whether or not you fight or kill his birds. Whether or not he joins you. Of course, I'm guessing. I don't know. I've never recruited him prior. You were obtain a buff card. Boy, that would have been simple. You get Ice Blast too. That was stupid of me. You just had to collect, out of a single character, collect a single buff card. Okay, well, whatever. We'll figure that out later. Anyways, we're going to cut the episode, and when we come back, we're going to be moving on to the super duper most important mission of the early game. So until then, I hope you all have a good one.